All right, so I've just finished watching the Tyson Fury press conference from earlier on today, and I just wanted to give my reaction and share a few thoughts about what was discussed during the press conference, and the biggest piece of news coming out of the press conference, and that is that Tyson Fury against Tom Schwarz will be on pay-per-view in the UK. So, um, okay, so with regards to this decision of the fight going on pay-per-view, I can say that I'm surprised, but I'm not shocked. I'm surprised because whether you are Tyson Fury's biggest fan, or whether you absolutely hate him, or whether you fall somewhere in between that large spectrum, I think we can all agree that in no way, shape, or form is this a pay-per-view caliber fight. If this fight was on at 10 p.m., which is prime boxing viewing time, this wouldn't be a pay-per-view fight. This is the kind of fight that you would have expected Tyson Fury to have on his actual comeback. Not the two guys that he fought. This is the kind of fight you would have expected him to have. Now, if you add to the fact that this is going to be on at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, it makes it even less of a pay-per-view fight for British boxing fans. I'm surprised because the message or the narrative that Tyson Fury, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, and whoever else is involved in Tyson Fury's career, the message that they perpetuate, the narrative that they give us, is Tyson Fury is the people's champion. In fact, they discussed that during the press conference. The narrative that they give us is he's the people's champion, he's a man of the people. And the decision to put this on pay-per-view goes totally against that. And the reason it goes totally against that is if you're a man of the people and you're the people's champion, you understand what we pay as fans for our BT Sports subscriptions, for our Sky Sports subscriptions. You understand the kind of money we spend just to have the privilege of watching boxing on TV. And it's a lot. And if you're a man of the people and you care about your fans, then why would you ask us to pay 20 quid for you to fight someone that doesn't deserve to be in the ring with you at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning? I personally believe this is a serious misstep by Tyson Fury and his team. It really is. Like, after that epic fight with Deontay Wilder, it's your first fight back and you decide to put a paywall in front of it. Now, if you're fighting a top quality heavyweight, I'd understand it. But Tom Schwarz, no, never in a million years. And I mentioned earlier, I'm surprised, and I've given you the reasons why I'm surprised. But why I'm not shocked is this. Since Tyson Fury signed with Bob Arum, I've had the belief, and I've been thinking that Frank Warren has little to no power or say in Tyson Fury's career. I think Tyson Fury was like on a fight-by-fight deal with Frank Warren. So when he signed with Top Rank and ESPN, contractually, Frank Warren could do nothing about it. All they have now is an agreement that their UK rights for his fights will go to BT Sport, and Frank Warren probably gets a cut of it. And with that in mind, and with Frank Warren and how vocal Frank Warren has been over the years about Eddie Hearn and the shows that Eddie Hearn has put on pay-per-view, prime examples being Derek Chisora against Dillian Whyte, and how Frank Warren told us that that wasn't a pay-per-view caliber fight. I think if Frank Warren had more of a say in Tyson Fury's career, even though he's contradicted himself over the years and he's a hypocrite himself, I believe if Frank Warren had more power, this fight wouldn't be on pay-per-view, because he understands how British boxing fans think. And he understands the things that he said in the past. This goes against the message that he's been giving the fans over the years on IFL TV and Boxing Social interviews. But going back to this ESPN and Top Rank deal for Tyson Fury, one of the things that really it's like belittling as a fan. Constantly being told that Tyson Fury is a lineal heavyweight champion in the world, he's the best heavyweight, he's the man to beat. That grates on me as a fan. And the second thing that grates on me is something that Bob Arum was saying during the press conference about how this deal with ESPN and Disney will give Tyson Fury all these opportunities to get himself in front of the mainstream media in the States, and he will be one of the biggest stars in sports in general. He'll be the biggest star in boxing within a year. The reason why that grates on me is I totally understand the plan. I totally understand the thought process behind this plan. And you know what? I'm in total support of this plan because as a promoter, you're supposed to be trying to make sure that your fighter gets as much exposure as they possibly can. But the thing that I don't like about it is, but don't tell us this is your plan. Don't tell us that Tyson Fury is going to be the biggest star in boxing and he's going to be one of the biggest stars in sports in a year's time. And the reason I say that is we're the ones who decide this, not you. We as fans collectively decide who the biggest stars are. And the fact that you've just come out and told us this is what's happening, it's a bit too contrived for me. It's a bit like, oh, we know what's best for you guys as fans, and we're gonna make sure it happens. No, it doesn't work like that. By all means, give him the opportunities, put him on the late night TV shows, etc. But don't tell us he's gonna be the biggest star. If he just sat there and said we're gonna try to do as much as we can to give Tyson Fury as much exposure as possible, just so fans can get to know Tyson Fury more because we believe that he's a star in the making. Fine, I'm fine with that. But by you sitting there telling us that he's going to be the biggest star in a year's time, I suppose it kind of adds to the insult of, oh, and this fight's on pay-per-view because Tyson Fury is a big star and he's fighting Tom Schwarz, who's a real threat. I don't believe any of those things. You don't have the privilege to make that decision for us, the fans. And I'm not trying to bash Tyson Fury here because I do respect and I do like him as a personality. But over the last couple of years, Tyson Fury has really, really contradicted himself. And for me, as a boxing fan, the one thing that I look for fighters that I support is consistency. Consistency in your performances in the ring and consistencies in the message you give us outside the ring. Now, Tyson Fury, for me, has been very inconsistent in the message that he gives us outside the ring. Because the things that he says is this: I'm the best heavyweight champion in the world. I'm the man to beat. I'm the man who beat the man. I will be the undisputed heavyweight champion within a year. I'm the people's champion. I'm a man of the people. I'm one of you guys. This is why people like me. That's kind of the crux of what he stands for at this moment in time. But this lineal heavyweight champion stuff, I'm not buying. I'm going to be the undisputed heavyweight champion within a year. Well, you could have fought Deontay Wilder on a 50-50 purse split, a mandatory challenge, so there's no rematch clause, a couple of months ago, and you turned it down. Your actions aren't consistent with the message you're sending us. I'm the people's champion. I'm here for. I'm a man of the people. But you're putting this fight on pay-per-view. It's almost like it's almost like fucking Cersei in Game of Thrones, an out of touch queen who doesn't really understand the will of the people. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's off-putting as a fan. Because at this point, it just looks like you're using boxing as a money grab. And that's fine. If you come out and say, look, I've done everything that I needed to do in the sport, and now all I want to do is make as much money as I can, because from a sporting aspect, I've achieved all my goals. I can get behind that. But don't sit here and say to me, the big fights will happen. I'll be undisputed heavyweight champion within a year. And then you have an opportunity to fight for one of the belts and you turn it down. To go and sign for ESPN for a bumper pay package, which is fine. And you're fighting Tom Schwarz. And then you're trying to tell me that Tom Schwarz is a legitimate threat, when we all know he's not. Like, the whole message is so jumbled up. And there's so much to pick apart within this whole package that we're being given. This Tyson Fury package. And as a fan and as someone that I'd like to think I'm, relatively intelligent, it just doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit right with me. And I think I'm not the only one. I think there's a lot of people that follow boxing that are beginning to have this kind of opinion about Tyson Fury. And it's a shame because he's done a lot of hard work to turn things around for himself. And I think he's been kind of ill-advised and a little bit mismanaged. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to share this. Don't be scared to like this. And please subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.